Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about a media system that I've been using for years that I've really enjoyed, and it's called Plex. So Plex is really cool because it's more than just an app on your phone or your smart TV or basically anywhere you can install apps, whether it's Android or iOS or even Windows devices as well. Basically, the idea behind Plex is that you can create your own media streaming service that you can use, whether it's in your house, on your, like I said, on your smart TVs or your Roku devices, your Apple TV, or your smartphone or your tablet, or wherever. But if you've got just a little bit of tech savviness, you can actually set up your network so that you can access all of your media from anywhere you've got an internet connection. So like I said, I've been using Plex for a number of years now, and really the only problems I've ever had with it has actually been on my Vizio televisions. I actually did a video about it like a year ago or so, and it turns out there's a lot of people using Plex that were also having the same issues that I was, but it turns out it was just a problem with the television and not with the app itself. So it definitely gives me some comfort in saying that the guys at Plex are doing a really, really good job of keeping all of their stuff updated and making sure that the user experience is as fluid and seamless as possible. So enough of me yammering at this camera. Let's switch camera angles and take a look at the Plex website. I'll show you just some of the cool features that it's got, and then we'll actually dive into setting up a Plex media server. It's super, super simple, and then from there we'll just kind of show you around the app a little bit, and we'll wrap things up. Okay, so here we are on the Plex website, and you can see here, first off, they're advertising their premium, which we will cover. It's like $5 a month, and it really does give a lot of the things that say a family might want. Again, stuff we'll cover, but the premium, it's like $5 a month, and you get a lot of really cool features that we'll talk about here in just a little bit. But if we scroll down the screen a little, here we can see that they've got apps for iOS, Android, Windows Phone, Roku, Apple TV, NVIDIA Shield, Android TV, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Amazon Fire, Chromecast, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, smart TVs, home theater PCs, the web. You can control it with Amazon Alexa, with Sonos, Windows, TiVo. Some Netgear routers, for like your network, will actually have the ability to run a Plex media server on that as well. You can also run it on Kodi if you've got that. If you really wanted to, you could actually, and I have run it off of a Raspberry Pi. There's some hardware limitations to the Raspberry Pi, but you can do it as long as you're not dealing with super high resolution, like 4K MKV files, things like that. But if you're just dealing with, like TV shows and like 1080p movies, things like that, you can actually set it up on a Raspberry Pi very, very easily as well. So, like it shows here, further down the page, it's a 3-step process, and it really is just that easy. Well, I guess it's a 4-step process, because sign up and download are actually, I would call 2. But you're going to sign up for an account, which I've already done. I'm sure you guys can figure that part out. It's pretty simple. You just sign up for an account like you would with anything else. You can actually use your Gmail account, or your Google account, or I believe even your Facebook account to sign up for a Plex account. So they've made that process even easier. From there, you're going to go in and you're going to download their media server application. Then you'll configure that, and then you'll add the app to, like I said, your smartphone, your smart TV, your tablet, whatever the case may be. So it's very, very simple to get going with Plex. Okay, so once you've got your account created, you'll want to go to plex.tv/downloads. This is where you're going to be able to download the Plex media server for Windows. I know that they also have it for, well, all of these, whether you've got a Mac or a Linux computer, whether you've got any of these different NAS devices. There's lots of different options on how you can set up a Plex media server. For the sake of this video, though, we're just going to do it on Windows. So what I'll do is I'll click Download. And of course I'm going to click Save because, well, that's what we want to do here. So now I'll just go ahead and click Run. And here it's going to take us through the install process. This is very, very easy. We'll just click Install. And we're going to say, yes, I want that to make changes to my system. And it's going to go through this install process relatively quickly. I hate it when you're installing stuff and it gets to like that last bit and that last bit just hangs forever. I feel like it's lying to me. But it did finish, so I'm going to click launch. And it's going to update the library, of which there's nothing there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to come down. You can see the bottom hand part of my screen there. We've got a little Plex Media Server icon. So now it wants me to sign into my Plex account. So I'm going to say, okay, let's do that. And then it's going to tell us quickly how this works. It's going to say Plex Media Server runs on your computer where you keep your media. This is sort of true. I've already got a Plex Media Server set up. I've got an old Z400 workstation that I bought like a year ago off a guy from Craigslist, and it's kind of like my media and file server, and I've just got it running there. But you may have a NAS drive attached to your network or something like that, and that's kind of how we're going to set this up. Right now we're working in a virtual Windows environment here, and I've got a drive mapped to my file server, and we're going to get all of the files from there to show up on this computer. So once we get that part done, it's going to scan all of my media, it's going to organize it, and it's actually going to make it look really, really good. And then, of course, like it says here, then you can play your media on any screen that's got the Plex app on it. So very, very easy setup process here. So I'm just going to call this DB Tech Virtual. And here it's going to say, do you want to allow, or basically allow me to access media outside my home? I'm going to go ahead and say yes to this, but that part gets a little bit tricky, again, because you've got to do some port forwarding on your router and your modem, or if you've got one device, that's actually easier. But I've got my modem from Comcast, and I've got my router in between. So I've actually got to do like this double port forwarding thing that's kind of a pain in the butt, but it works, and I can access my media from anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. And it's going to think about it. Now it's probably going to ask me where my media library is. And once we get to that point, then we'll start taking a look at some other stuff here. Here, there we go. Perfect. So we've got music and photos here. I actually want to add movies, and we can do that pretty easily. So I'm going to say add movies. And of course, then you could add TV shows or music or photos or other videos. Maybe you've got like home movies and things like that that you want to be able to access. But for the sake of what we're doing here, I'm just going to say movies, and I'm going to add a folder. Next step, browse for that folder. And I've actually got this Z drive mapped. If I come over to my computer here, I've got my C drive here. This is that virtual hard drive that I've got set up for this environment, and I've got this network location, and we can see I've got that mapped to the Z drive there. So what I'll do is I'll just select Z, and then I'm going to select movies, and then I've got all my stuff organized. In fact, if I can just show you that real quick. If I come down here to movies, I've got, like I said, everything's organized. I've got like Harry Potter and the Hunger Games and all that kind of stuff in here. So I can close that. But I just want all of this to be, all of these folders to be part of my movies media selection. So I'll just click add. And if I had other folders, I could actually add those as well. But I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to click cancel, and I'm going to say add library. And then let's go into music, because I've got some of that. And I'm going to click add folder. And actually, I don't have anything on this local machine because it is a virtual Windows setup. But if I come into here and I click on music, then I can click add. I can click next. And because I've got the Plex Pass, I can do this really cool thing where it adds more information about the artist and their bios and reviews, and you can do like smart mixes. Like if you feel like you want to listen to just like angry music, you can just create an angry music mix. It's pretty neat. It kind of becomes like your own Pandora or Spotify or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Here you can say, do you want to include in your dashboard? Well, yeah. Do you want to use the embedded tags, or do you want it to find tags? I would say probably you could just let it find the tags. And if you're listening to a track on one device, and you want to pick it up and listen to it somewhere else and just like kind of have almost a seamless process, you can store your track progress and just pick up where you left off later. And then we can just leave all this. This is going to download all of the additional stuff to make the music listening experience even better. So I'm going to click Add Library. And I'm gonna remove photos. I'm gonna click Delete. Yeah, I'm sure. I actually want to add one more library here, and I'm gonna choose Movies again, but I'm gonna call it Kids Movies, and I'm gonna say Add Folder. I'm gonna browse for a media folder. I'm gonna go back to my Z drive, and I'm gonna click on the Kid folder there. I'm gonna click Add, and I'll click Add here, and that's really all we're gonna do for this. So if I click Next. Now it's saying I can get Plex apps, and this will tell me, how to get apps on my TV and my smartphone and my Roku and my whatever device I'm using to watch media on. This is going to tell me how to get those apps. If I click that, luckily it opens in a new one. You can click on Get an App over here. Of course, I'm on the Windows. I'm on a Windows machine here, so it's asking me if I want to get the Plex app. I don't. But if I was on my smartphone, I could get the Plex app and install it there. Real simple stuff. But I'm going to say I'm done here. So here we can see that it is actually adding movies already. You can kind of see where it was popping this up down here at the bottom. Of course, now it's not showing me anything. But every once in a while it'll pop up a little thing saying it's scanning this folder. So if I come over to the movies folder here, you can see that it's grabbing all of the artwork for everything. If I open Atomic Blonde, it gives me all this really great information about, that obviously the name, when it was released, the length of the movie, whether or not I've even watched it, the rating. It gives me some IMDb information, some categorical information as far as what type of movie. It's got a brief synopsis. It's got a cast. What I really like about this cast is if I click on here, it will find all of the other movies that's got, in this case, Charlize Theron in it. And of course, it just started indexing these, so it's not going to necessarily have everything. I may have 5 movies with Charlize Theron, but until they're all indexed, it won't show me that. So, like I said, it's just going to show me that one for right now. If I do James McAvoy, again, same thing, because I've only just started indexing these movies. But if I come back and, again, I could open up, like Avengers. Let's see. This one should actually work pretty well. If I click on like Robert Downey Jr., then it shows all of the movies that I've got with Robert Downey Jr. And I really like that they've added the ability to do that, because maybe you would just want to do like a Robert Downey Jr. marathon. You can do that very, very easily with Plex. And you can actually click down here. If you wanted to, you could add this to like a queue. You can create movie queues so that it'll just play one movie after the next. If you wanted to do like an Avengers marathon, you could add all of the Avengers movies to a queue and just play that queue. Very, very cool ability to do that kind of stuff. If I wanted to just play the trailer or add to a playlist, there's lots of different things in here that you can do to really start tailoring your viewing experience, again, on any device. Any device that you've got on your network can access this folder once you get logged in, or this server rather. And once you've got it set up, it's really just an amazing way to manage your movies. Again, your music. It hasn't started on the music yet because it's still going through all of my movies here. But once it's done with the movies, then it'll probably go into the music folder and do that next, and then it'll go into the kids' movies. And I really like the way they've been able to do that. But if I come into let's talk about this a little bit. If I've got this kids' movies, right, and like, of course, I'm the adult, I can access whatever I want. But if I want to share this, let's see. Nope. that is sharing. You can actually share with friends and other family members. If they've got a Plex account, you can just type in their username, and it will allow you to share your media with them. I would be careful about that. Check your local laws and restrictions. Also know that they'll be using your bandwidth to stream movies and music and stuff to their devices. So if you've got data caps, be very careful about that. So let's see, if I go to users, maybe I can do this. Yeah. So I've got, of course, this is a managed user. This is the kid's library. So I'm going to edit him, and on here, I can say what libraries I want to share with him. And in this case, I only want to share the kids' movies. So I'll click save. And then if I switch users, switch user, and I switch over to Gauge. Now, of course, right now, like I said, it's still indexing those kids' movies. But once it's done indexing everything, he will only have access to the kids' movies. So I really like that they've got it set up so that you can be very granular about the way you handle sharing different things. It's like I said, I've been using it for years. In fact, I have made TV purchasing decisions based on whether or not the TV has Plex. My first smart TV didn't have Plex, so I actually got a Chromecast for it, and I've been really, really happy with that. We've also got options like if you've got Android TV, or those types of external like boxes that you can plug into your TV, that sort of thing. Those work really, really well also. So if you're interested in setting up Plex, but you don't have a smart TV, there are lots of different ways that you can do it. Okay, guys, so I've got the app on my phone here. Just maybe you can kind of see that. Hopefully we can get it. There we go. So here we can see that we've got the DB Tech Virtual. That's the server that we just created on this virtual Windows machine that's running on my system over here. And I can scroll through here and I can see all the different stuff that it's got going on. So if I wanted to say like watch the Transformers movie, the Age of Extinction. It might take it just a second because it is still processing in the background, and that can be a bit of a laborious task. But we'll go ahead. Here we can see it's got all that same information, like the genre, the director, all this great stuff in here. And we'll just come over here and we'll click play. Great. It's going to think about it, and we'll turn it this way. And I got my audio turned off, so hopefully don't get it hit with any kind of restrictions there. Again, this is going to run a little slower because it is processing some other stuff in the background, but there you can see it. Even with it processing slower, it's still going already. So very, very cool system here. Whether you want to watch movies locally, on your smart TVs. I've actually made smart TV buying decisions based on whether or not they've got the Plex app. My first smart TV didn't have it, so I actually bought a Chromecast for it. Works flawlessly, actually almost better than the Plex app on the Vizio TVs. Or if you've got like a Roku or any of those kind of devices, you can just plug those in, get the app, get it all set up, and stream all your media to all of your devices very, very easily. So with all that being said, let me know in the comment section down below, have you tried something like this, whether it's Plex or Roku or if you're old school, something like the Boxy Box, or even have an Apple TV or something like that. Have you tried a system like this? Have you tried Kodi or XMBC or any of these other media server style things? Let me know down in the comments if you've tried it, which one you like the best, which one you like the worst, and we'll just start a conversation that way. So I think that's really it. Like I said, this isn't a sponsored video. This is just a system I've been using for a long time, and I wanted to share with you guys and hopefully make your viewing experience for your media in your home, on your devices, whatever, easier and more pleasurable without all the hassle of trying to navigate through folders and all that weirdness. So if you found the video helpful, do me a favor, give the video a thumbs up. It really does help me and the channel out more than you could possibly know, and it really only takes a second. Also, I've got lots of new video ideas coming up regularly, so if you're interested in this kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when that stuff happens. It really means a lot every time I log in and I see I've got more subscribers. It gives me the boost I need to keep making videos for you guys. Also, down in the description, I will, of course, have a link to Plex and all of that stuff. It's non-affiliate. I don't get any kickback for it. Check out Plex if you haven't already. I really do think you'll enjoy it. Also, in the links down below, I have a link to my Patreon if you want to help out by becoming a patron. Or if you do a lot of shopping on Amazon, I'll have an Amazon affiliate link down there that you can click. I become your affiliate. I get a kickback for all the stuff you buy. It doesn't change your shopping, doesn't change anything at all, other than I get a little bit of a kickback anytime you buy something on Amazon. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you so much for your time. I always appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you in the next one.